But I cannot understand what has brought you to this land and given you dominion over this land and over the red man. That destiny is a mystery to us. If I cannot understand, when buffalo are all slaughtered, wild horses all tamed, secret corners of forest heavy with the scent of many men and ripe hills blotted by talking wires. Where is the thicket? Gone. Where is eagle? Gone. The end of living and the beginning of survival.
We're down at the Drill Hall Theatre in Mullumbimby for the second night of the series of workshops that we've pulled together. Who am I? Tony Barry. I'm an actor and activist, and together with Greg Aitken and Michael Hennessy from the Drill Hall, we've pulled this together in an attempt to encourage the younger creative elements of the community to come together with some of the older elements and challenge the rapacious greed of the multinational corporations, that sort of corporate thug mentality, and also to expose the banksters as the real controllers of the ball game we call the world. Just small stuff, you know.
Then it's got, and then what's the next line? Monsanto's changed the natural codes. The trees have not met their demise.
I saw Tony's story in the paper and thought I'd come over and check it out because I'm a bit upset, like most people in the community, about, you know, the Liberal government and all of the cuts and slashing and burning that they're doing. So I just thought I'd come and have a look, and yeah, we got together last night and formed a group, and we're doing a little skit on food.
Monsanto's changed the natural codes.
Monsanto's changed the natural codes.
The trees have met their demise.
The trees have met their demise.
My name's Michael Hennessy, and I'm a choreographer. I was a former dancer with Sydney Dance Company, and I've known Tony for some time, so as soon as he talked about the project, I was totally captivated by it, and particularly his approach to make it accessible, to make it fun and satirical.
Okay, no worries.
So you speak.
Okay. I will announce some cuts to education. There's too much money going into education. As Minister, I'm announcing cuts to education.
So they're frozen in the meantime?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll go get the watering can.
There's a gold coin at the door just to help defray expenses, and we had about 100 people here last night. The oldest were in their 80s, the youngest were some kids that mothers had brought along.
They were divided into groups, and I went round to each group just to listen to hear what was being expressed, and it was just amazing to hear people's views and how passionate they were about it too, and to be able to articulate those ideas, and then they collate those ideas and then present it in some form, whether it's song or theatrical.
I think Tony Abbott's had enough rope to hang himself. I'd like to know how to go about doing that.
Working on this thing called Planet Abbott. A team of people went looking on Planet Abbott for intelligence, and they couldn't find any. It's actually about refugees and the boat people. Seeing as we're all boat people from a couple of hundred years ago, I mean, after all.
When the initial brainstorm came, there was a huge list, and it was difficult to pick one. I think the topic was actually called the raping of trees, so and forests. So yeah, we sort of came in as a group, and we're called the Tree Huggers.
In the end, cheap wood chip, 100-year-old cheap wood chip, fresh, to go in anyone's garden.
It's just that I think we've been lulled into a soporific state where we've put product before principle, and we find ourselves succumbing to this seduction of lifestyle to the detriment of quality of life, and we're leaving our younger generations to pick up the pieces, and they're going to have all the problems and none of the tricks.
Sure, you know, the planet's slowly disintegrating, dying away, but enjoying the things that are nice, and we live in a very beautiful place, so we don't see it quite as badly. But I think just being conscious of what's going on around us and being conscious of these issues and doing, the simple things that you can do that make a big difference, and I just try and make little differences.
Seeing how people feel about things and getting a voice and really having your finger on the pulse of the movement, I think that's really a great thing to have, because I just enjoy hearing other people's ideas. And I'm not sure, sometimes I express ideas, but I prefer to hear other people's because it's more interesting.
And that's what we're trying to do here, plant the seeds in the young ones and fire them up while they're still young and idealistic and hopeful.
We made Tony patron of the drill hall. We had to drag him into being patron, really, but he's by the leg. I realised as soon as I said that was a terrible thing to say.
I can see it cut you quick. About 13 months ago, I lost my left leg. I've been battling with melanomas for 8.5 years, and I've had over 700 on the leg before it had to go. And that's been an interesting exercise because it's enabled me to accept a lot of things, gifts in shitty wrapping paper. But I've been able to accept that if it's come your way, the best thing to do is accept it and get on with it. And it's really introduced me to the fact that I'm not independent anymore, and I'm not able to dance as proficiently.
He's been, an inspiration because he's such a iconic actor, and he's brought this other idea to the drill hall, rather than just being a theatre company that puts on plays and entertainment, to actually do art that is political and to try and bring about change, rather than just make us laugh and have a good time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But if you can go further with the politics, and so who knows where this may lead? Already we're talking about, wouldn't it be nice to do political cabaret and stuff like that? And from what we saw last night, there's a whole lot of people coming forward with ideas, and we just don't know where it might go.
What Tony's done too is really looked at the role of the artist, and it's something I think it's really taken us and saying that what we can do as artists and reflect what's going on around us, hence a good look around.
I think it's just encouraging to know that you're not alone in feeling the way we do at the moment. It's a difficult time, and to feel sort of encouraged that there's not only just other people who feel the same way, but actually want to get out and do something and encourage others to do something.
And it's empowering, and it's our plan to hopefully use this as a way of empowering the youth to take what we put together over the next 2 days, and then the boys will be editing this, and Turks who have been working the cameras, they'll edit this, put it together, we'll have a look at it back on Sunday night, and then we'll make decisions about putting it out on social media. Because I've found that in the past, if you can train the camera on these corrupt institutions, the vibration it sets up is so powerful it brings them down, or at least brings them out in the light, and then they can be taken to task, hopefully.